Have you noticed how conversations about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have taken a new turn in recent days? This time, the focus is not only on what is happening inside Nigeria, but also on activities involving supporters and groups in the United States. Reports indicate that new alliances, leadership changes, and fundraising discussions are attracting attention among people following the IPOB movement. But what exactly is happening, and why are these developments generating so much debate? Let's break it down carefully, separate confirmed information from claims, and look at what it could mean going forward. Before we continue, if you enjoy balanced updates that explain the facts in simple language without unnecessary drama, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, share this video with others who follow Nigerian affairs, and don't forget to leave your opinion in the comment section. Your support helps us continue bringing well-researched discussions like this. One of the biggest talking points involves what some supporters have described as a renewed international effort to rally support for Nnamdi Kanu. According to recent reports, groups based in the United States have publicly declared support for the latest leadership changes announced within IPOB. Among those groups is the American Military Veterans of Igbo Descent, commonly known as AVID. The organization released a statement saying it recognizes only the leadership structure announced by Kanu and that it intends to work with officials appointed under the new arrangement. This development follows an announcement attributed to Kanu, in which he dissolved the previous Directorate of State, often referred to as the DOS, and introduced a new administrative team. Reports from several Nigerian media organizations indicate that Chris Nwaugu, who is based in the United States, was appointed to head the newly constituted Directorate of State alongside several other officials assigned to different responsibilities across various regions. Now, when people hear phrases such as war chest or fundraising campaign, different interpretations immediately emerge. It is important to understand that such expressions are often used politically to describe efforts to mobilize financial and organizational resources for campaigns, legal matters, advocacy, or public awareness. Unless independently verified, it should not automatically be interpreted as referring to unlawful activities. In this situation, public reports largely focus on fundraising and organizational support connected to legal, administrative, and advocacy efforts surrounding Kanu's case, rather than providing evidence of anything beyond those claims. Another phrase attracting attention is "Unite in America Capital." Some supporters have used language suggesting greater engagement in Washington, D.C. and among members of the Nigerian diaspora in America. However, publicly available reporting does not confirm that any official action has been taken by the United States government regarding Kanu's legal case. Instead, reports primarily describe activities by advocacy groups and supporters seeking to increase awareness and build international attention. That distinction is important because advocacy by private groups is different from official government policy. As these discussions continue, another major issue is the restructuring within IPOB itself. According to statements attributed to Kanu, the leadership changes were necessary because he believed the previous administration had failed in several important areas, including internal coordination, member welfare, and organizational unity. These are allegations made by Kanu and his supporters, and those affected have not necessarily accepted those claims. That is why viewers should understand there are competing narratives surrounding these internal developments. Reports also indicate that several former officials were later expelled from the organization following disagreements over leadership and direction. Supporters of the restructuring argue that the changes were necessary to restore discipline and improve coordination. Critics, on the other hand, question whether the restructuring will actually resolve the movement's internal divisions. Those debates continue across social media and among observers following developments in southeastern Nigeria and within diaspora communities. An interesting aspect of these recent announcements is the appointment of individuals described as diplomatic or international representatives. Public reports mention appointments including representatives connected with the United States, the United Kingdom, Europe, and other regions. These titles reflect internal positions within the organization and should not be confused with diplomatic recognition by governments. In other words, these appointments are organizational roles announced by IPOB and do not mean official diplomatic status recognized by any country. Many viewers have also asked why the United States keeps appearing in discussions about Kanu. One reason is the size and influence of the Nigerian diaspora. Nigerians living abroad often organize advocacy campaigns, community meetings, legal fundraising, media engagement, and outreach programs concerning issues back home. This is not unique to IPOB. Similar patterns can be seen with many political and advocacy movements around the world, where diaspora communities attempt to influence public opinion through peaceful advocacy and public engagement. At the same time, Kanu's legal situation in Nigeria remains a major part of the discussion. His supporters continue to argue for his release through legal and advocacy channels, while Nigerian authorities have maintained their own legal position regarding his detention and prosecution. Those matters remain subject to ongoing legal and political processes, making it important to distinguish between advocacy statements and official court decisions. Another point worth discussing is the language being used by supporters. Terms such as new DOS, rising ambassador, and similar phrases are generating significant attention online because they suggest a fresh attempt to reorganize and expand international outreach. Whether these changes translate into greater influence or practical results remains uncertain and will likely depend on future developments rather than announcements alone. For many observers, the biggest question is whether increased international attention could influence the broader conversation surrounding Kanu's case. History shows that international advocacy can sometimes increase awareness of legal or political issues, but awareness alone does not determine court outcomes. Decisions involving legal proceedings remain within the jurisdiction of the relevant courts and authorities. Another reason these developments matter is because they reflect how political movements increasingly rely on global networks. Supporters no longer depend only on activities within one country. Modern communication allows organizations to coordinate discussions, fundraising, public messaging, and media outreach across multiple continents almost instantly. That reality has changed the way political advocacy operates in today's interconnected world. Supporters of the restructuring argue that stronger international coordination could improve communication, reduce internal disputes, and help focus attention on legal advocacy. Others remain skeptical, pointing out that organizational changes alone do not automatically resolve deeper disagreements within any movement. Time will ultimately determine whether these recent appointments achieve the objectives their supporters hope for. Whatever one's opinion may be, one thing is clear. Discussions surrounding Nnamdi Kanu continue to evolve beyond Nigeria's borders. Developments involving diaspora organizations, leadership restructuring, public advocacy, and international engagement are becoming an increasingly important part of the broader story. As always, it is wise to rely on verified information and remember that public statements from interested parties represent their own positions rather than independently established facts. If you found this analysis useful so far, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more balanced updates on Nigerian politics and current affairs, share this video with friends and family, and most importantly, leave your thoughts in the comments. Do you think international advocacy can make a meaningful difference? Or do you believe the outcome will depend entirely on Nigeria's legal process? We'd love to hear your respectful opinions. Thank you so much for watching. Stay informed, keep following credible sources, and remember that understanding every side of an issue helps us have better conversations. I'll see you again in the next video.